Welcome everyone. How are you doing? If you're live with me, let me know in the comments section that you're here and you're ready to get started. Today we're going to be discussing how to build your financial dream team. What does that mean? What does it look like? Where do we start? Where do we end? And what is the end result of this, right? Why are we doing this in the first place? So we're going to discuss all of that, as well as have a little Q&A session once I am done with the lesson here. So if you have any questions pertaining to today's topic, go ahead and dump it in there. If you have any feedback you want to give, drop it right in the comment section. If you've got a question that has nothing to do with today's topic, that's all right. Throw it in the comment section and I will address it if you're here with us live. So with that, we're going to dive right into today's lesson, not waste any time, kind of give you what I see in my head, kind of just drew it out here. And full transparency, I do have my own financial dream team. So I'm using my dream team as a case study here. It's not complete. I don't think it ever will be because of the way life works. People come in to your life for a season. Some people are in your life for your whole entire life until either one passes away. And let's just say someone you had on your dream team passes away. Their services are no longer of use, right? They've graduated from Earth, but let's say you're still here, so we're going to need a replacement, right? How to deal with that? What does that look like when you have someone that you've been going to forever? I can only imagine the day that I have to find a new barber. Like, I've been going to the same barber that cuts my hair since I was like 15 years old, 15, 16 years old, since I was like a freshman in high school, right? Freshman, sophomore-ish in high school. This barber, I've seen him get married, have a kid, build his life, and go from different barbershops, and I've followed him every single place. Now, chances are he will likely leave this earth before me because he's older than I am, right? And I can only imagine the stress that just having a barber, right, and not knowing who to go to after that, right? So as it relates to your financial dream team, it's gonna be like that as well, to a whole nother degree, as it relates to how we create financial success in this life. So I gave a little funny example there, just something to think about, and also kind of really touching on the seriousness of why this is so important, why you want to build your own financial dream team, even if you've got no money, you're broke, you're in debt, you're struggling, all these different things. Where do you start, right? Who do you trust in today's environment, right? What are these different steps? I'm going to simply share with you a 6-year journey that I've been on personally. So this is 6 years in the making. I feel very confident about this dream team, where it's going, the amount of time, effort, patience, money I've put into building this over the years, and how it creates win-win scenarios for literally everyone involved in this dream team, right? So before we build a dream team, you need to know your numbers. Before you hire anyone on this list, I recommend, this is my encouragement, this is my personal advice as a coach that I give to every single one of my clients, is we have got to start here. I don't care how poor, how broke, how in debt. I don't even care if you don't have no income coming in. You still need to know your numbers, right? What are your expenses? What is every single expense that you have that leaves your economy? What is that? Itemized, not estimated, itemized down to the penny. I think that's crucial, right? I don't like leaving out details when it comes to numbers, right? I really don't like leaving out details when it comes to anything in my life. I try to be as detailed as humanly possible when I'm trying to achieve a result. The more details I can give that expert, that service provider, the more helpful they can be in their work in serving me to build a kingdom that I'm trying to build here on earth, right? And have success and perpetuate wealth for generations to come. So Very, very important. You gotta know your numbers. 4 major numbers. What's coming in, what's going out, total debt, obligations, and leftover cash flow per month. Based on these numbers will give us a starting point as to, okay, this is a lot going on here, Denzel. Where do I begin? Okay. Now, in addition to this dream team, this template that I put together is purely my opinion. I don't know really anyone that is discussing this right now. So this is purely my opinion. This is theory based. Only one case study, me. I'm letting you know what I've been doing over the last 6 years, how I've processed these decisions, right? And there may be some things that I missed that you can point out. Now, what I did do was summarize. So if there's a different term, I'm pretty sure you can probably put it in one of these different areas, and we'll go through that as well. And so I'm going to use a sports analogy here to kind of illustrate what I'm doing as to how I build my financial dream team. There's got to be a leader. Okay, so in any sports team, there's a leader. So in this example, I'm going to use football as my example. I think most people would relate to this. So typically in football, the quarterback is the leader of the team. The quarterback is the one that is putting the plays together, letting everyone know on the team their positions, what the next play will be, what the next play after that will be. And the quarterback is supposed to be able to really process a lot of different scenarios, a lot of different potential routes that one can go to score a touchdown, right? Earn more points in the game. So in the game of life, as it relates to building your financial dream team, if I had to give a title for someone that's a quarterback on your financial dream team, I would put that person as the financial coach. They may call themselves a consultant. They might call themselves a strategist. I would say one of those three: financial coach, consultant, strategist, maybe even a financial accountability partner. This is someone that is not necessarily trying to sell an end product, right? This is someone you literally just hire for their time, right? That you invest money to get in a room with this person face to face or Zoom, and it's one-to-one, ideally, and this person is simply hearing what you're going through, hearing your problems, hearing the ideas that you have, and the coach is supposed to process those ideas, run scenarios, give you ideas to lead with, challenge your ideas, get you to think really big, right? And it could also be a second opinion type person as well. So let's say you're looking at investing with a real estate investor, right? You've got two people you're looking at. Before you invest with that investor, before you dish out money to that person, if you're building a financial decision-making process, part of your steps is to go talk to someone. Typically, that's our spouses, a partner, a confidant, a close friend. You let them know, hey, I'm about to invest in this real estate deal, right? But when you go to your spouse or partner or a trusted covenant or a close friend that isn't necessarily experienced in that world of investing and saving and multiplying money and managing risk, they're just going to give their opinion of their limited knowledge, and sometimes that's not what you need. You don't need someone to necessarily agree with you. You don't need someone to necessarily disagree or argue with you on your idea that you want to invest and go make money. You want to go to someone that's a professional that has seen this question presented before, that has dealt with these situations, and you can process, what does that investment with this person look like? Okay, they're investing in Georgia. Okay, they're investing in California. Okay, they're investing in Texas, right? Where you're going to be a private money lender, or you're going to be in the deal. You're going to have equity in the deal, or this is a long-term, this is a flip, this is a wholesale, whatever it may be. You're processing the risk overall. What is the global economic environment look like? What does your economic environment look like? Does your finances make sense for this investment? You're discussing those ideas, right? So I would say, me personally, the first person that I'm looking for to build my dream team is going to be a financial coach, consultant, strategist, someone that is in the middle, but can also lead the conversation and get you to start thinking about these different things to build your kingdom, right? The end game here, in my opinion, I always like to give this, like what's the end game? What's the purpose of doing all this? I think, it's my personal opinion, is to build a kingdom, right? To build your kingdom here on planet Earth. Now, we can go one step further, right? And this is where I would introduce my faith into the equation, right? So generally, this applies to anyone. No faith, some faith, in between faith, hardcore faith, any religion. This template works. And the end game being you're building a kingdom, which is the highest form of authority on planet Earth, is to be king of your domain. If you're the king of your domain, your household economy, as a man, as a woman, queen, right? So either or, and king, queen come together. These are the highest roles on planet Earth. There is no higher role. A president, a prime minister, an ambassador, a governor, a mayor are all below. This is the highest level, the highest authority you ideally want to be in, a king or queen. And you have a domain. This is your territory over which you have rulership over. You get to dominate and control what occurs in your domain, right? So the highest level on earth, boom, king. You build a kingdom, your environment, and then one level above that, my opinion, this is where I involve my faith, is I say, actually, this isn't my kingdom. I am simply managing in a king's position. I have a king's position on earth, but I'm simply managing for my Father in heaven, who is the King of all kings. Okay? So that is the faith component purpose for building this dream team for me. If you don't agree with this part, you can just simply X that out and kind of just stick it right here. Keep it right there for now. Right? So either or, your end game is either build a kingdom for yourself where you are the ruler, you are the king, you're the queen, you are fully independent, free from all the pressures of life in this world, right? And you can create success for many other people. You can do philanthropic work. You can do whatever you want. You're king, right? Or you take it a step further and you say, actually, I got put on this planet not by me alone, by someone else. And you go back through the lineage and you come to find out maybe there is this creator on this planet and has a purpose for my life, and you discover that purpose, and then you find your faith, which came by hearing the word, and then you decide, yep, in fact, none of this is mine, and so I'm going to take this managerial role of stewardship, but still in the position of a king. So you're still the leader over your life. You control your circumstances and situations, but you're simply saying that none of this is mine in all humility and humbleness and righteousness. None of this is mine. I'm building success for my Father in heaven and fulfilling his will over my life, not my will for my life, right? So it's a trade. Okay, let's say, boom, now we have the end in mind. Where do we begin? Begin with the numbers. Know where you're at financially speaking. We're talking about a financial dream team, not a fitness dream team, not a spiritual dream team. We're talking just simply financial for now. You can take the same template, right, and build, right, other teams in your life. Now, for me personally, I did incorporate those other things to a degree, but not as detailed, right? And we'll go through that. So back to the football analogy. The first thing after I know my numbers, the first person I'm going to look for is a financial coach, because a financial coach can help me understand these numbers more without trying to sell me a product to fix my numbers, without selling me a service that may or may not help my numbers. It's just dealing with the numbers as is. That is critical in my opinion. So many people skip over this and they go straight into this word right here that everybody loves: invest. Right? So they skip over the numbers, go right into investing. They talk to a professional in their industry, in their own right. So whether it's real estate, business, stocks, crypto, gold, whatever it may be, they're a professional in that space. Their main focus is selling and teaching and on that. But that may not be for you according to where you're at. But what they can do is they can either manipulate, encourage, persuade, influence to get you to think you are in a position where you can invest with them in this particular product or service, right? So in my opinion, you skip the step there, right? So in this template, before we invest, before we multiply money, before we do anything, I think we have to start with a becoming first, becoming fruitful, in my opinion, right? So step one, let's put a 1 here. Know the numbers, important. 2, all right, we're going to seek wisdom, in my opinion. Now, the faith conversion is seek the kingdom, which in a way is wisdom. So again, keeping it general. So seek wisdom. Where? Boom, from a financial coach on where you're at. Where you're at, where you've been, right? So this is now touching on mindset. What is your mind currently set on as it relates to where you at, who you are as an individual, why you think the way you think? What is your moral beliefs about money? What do you believe about money to be true? Is money scarce? Is money abundant? Is money available, or is money inaccessible? Is it impossible to become a billionaire in your bloodline, or is it possible? Right? Like, a coach deals with the mind on finances and also the practical, logical financial numbers that you're currently dealing with. So 1, boom, know your numbers. 2, seek wisdom. 3, that wisdom is for the purpose of focusing on the mindset so that we can build this dream team. Does that make sense? Let me know in the comments if you're here with me. You got 37 people in the house. Let me know if I'm landing so far, or if I lost you. Okay? So football analogy, you got your quarterback. Your quarterback is now going to help you build a team according to you, not the coach. This is another aspect of what the coach does, is the coach does not input their idea of success on you. The coach is extracting your idea of success from you and then delivering it back to you to say, hey, this is what you just said, right? You just said that you want ... But when in application, when you're actually taking action, you're not doing those things. So what's going on? Oh, right. So from age 6 all the way to 26, no one ever discussed this in your family household. And whenever they did, it was always an argument. And whenever you brought up something, you were always, denied, kind of thrown to the side. That's not important. Or, you're dumb. So basically, anytime you have a cool idea, you're looking for validation anywhere you can get. And the moment you get confirmation, now you get doubt because your whole life you've been doubted. Oh man. So as a coach, we get to deal with that and unlock what was that first interaction with money? What was that first rejection from your ideas about money? Who rejected you? Was it a man? Was it a woman? Was it your mom? Was it dad? Was it a first girlfriend, first boyfriend? Like, was it a teacher? Was it a role model that you looked up to, that you admired, and then they shot you down, made you feel like nothing as such a little kid, and then that held with you all this time, right? Pretty interesting stuff here. When you really go back to the root, unlock it, so that's discovery, why I think the way I think. Then you discovered it, now you have awareness over it, now you get to make a choice. I'm going to break through this traumatic experience with money that I had, this money mindset block that I'm dealing with, this challenge, this obstacle. I'm now going to make a conscious choice to break through it. Once you break through, now you're stepping into masterful living, where you get to live a life where you have mastered that situation. Now you have control, dominance over money. Money doesn't rule you, you rule it, right? Because it's, at the end of the day, it's just an it. You're a being. You're more than an it, right? No one just calls you it. You're a human being. You're being human. You're operating, right? You have consciousness, you're able to think, whereas money doesn't think, right? It's just a tool, it's just a resource, right? You get to dictate, you get to control the decisions of what you do with those funds, not money making the decision for you and it making a decision for a being. It's insane. You never want to live that way, but most of us do. So, football, got your quarterback. Now, in football, you have an offensive team and you have a defensive team. Now, the norm, what's typically said, is a great defense, you have an even better offense. It's usually not the other way around. Why is that? Well, if you are controlling the football majority of the game, and the only way to earn points is on offense, right? Then the highest percentage chance of you winning a football game is pretty much based on how long you controlled the football, right? How long have you controlled your life? Has it only been 5 years you've been controlling your life? Have you been under the control of someone else your whole entire life? Your boss? Does your boss control 40 to 50 hours of your life on a weekly basis, 52 weeks out of the year for the last 40 years? Oh my goodness. You have not been playing proper defense, and now you're 55 years old. So I'm going to teach you the principles of how to basically win not only a football game, but win the game of your life, which is gotta know your numbers, know where you're at, seek wisdom, find that coach. You got our quarterback, right? That quarterback is going to be able to see things you can't, right? And then boom, they see an open path right here, wide open, instead of throwing over here where there's 3 defenders and you're trying to stick an investment tightly in there thinking, yeah, that dude's not going to jump and just catch that interception and run it back for a touchdown. And now when they run it back this way, in terms of your life, boom, set you back 3-4 years. Because you're trying to squeeze, you're trying to take massive risk, you're trying to be a gambler, instead of, hey, dude, somebody wide open right here. I know they may not be the best receiver in the world, but my God, they are wide open. And you can score that touchdown, right? Now, that's when you're on offense. You could have a crappy offense and have more wins, in my opinion, with an amazing defensive team. Because if you're on offense and you throw that interception, and now we're playing defense, They tackle that player right then and there, let's just say, boom, ball turned over, you're out of control, but since you have a phenomenal defense, you're able to hold them back for 3-4 downs, turn the ball over, back into your position, ball's back in your control. They never scored, even though they took the ball from you. They didn't score. You were able to mitigate the risk. You were able to course correct, pivot, because you have a phenomenal quarterback and you have an even better defensive team. In my opinion, that's the way to win life. Have a phenomenal defensive team, and your offense is going to look amazing, in my opinion. Okay, this is just the way I think. It's my template, right? Again, you don't have to agree with this. Make it your own, right? Change it up, however you like. So I'm going to start with building a defensive team, right? Then I'm going to show you the offensive team that I've built over the years of my own life. And then as a bonus, you don't have to do these things, but I have 2 things on the side here: debt/capital and a lender, right? This is optional. I don't think it's required when you have a phenomenal defensive team, and you have an even better, obviously when you have a great defensive team, your offense team looks even better. Remember, your defensive team is not competing with your offensive team. This is another mistake a lot of people make. Prime example, your defensive team will typically not look the best in this category of ROI, meaning return on investment, because you're measuring the wrong ROI when evaluating these people. There's probably 15 other layers of your defensive team that is immeasurable, right? Immeasurable. For example, let's say you have an insurance agent. What is the ROI on life insurance? How the heck do you calculate ROI on having a death benefit that would protect your entire immediate family in case anything happened to you, your life, right? You can't measure it. We won't know until after you're dead. So it's like we only discover it in hindsight. It's like prophecy. We only see the prophecy once it's actually occurred. You could have the prophecy written and you're reading it. You're reading prophecy. You're reading what's going to happen. And you might be in the middle of the prophecy or the beginning of the prophecy, but we won't really have hindsight until it's actually been completed or towards the end of that prophecy, once it's become fulfilled. Then you're like, oh my gosh, look what dad did. Look what mom did. 30 years later, we're still benefiting from what mom and dad did, and they've been in the grave for 30 years. So you won't ever see the ROI on having a death benefit. But as you're living, it's so hard to measure the ROI on having life insurance, having a death benefit, right? So again, we're typically using the wrong measurement when evaluating your defensive team. The defensive team typically doesn't score points, right? So sometimes they get a little devalued because you're focused so much on offense. You're focused so much on throwing a Hail Mary and getting the highest ROI on your investment, not realizing the massive risk that you're taking that can set you back 3, 5 years, 7 years, 10 years just to recover, right? We're missing this in our own financial lives. So building the defensive team. These are the people that protect your wealth, perpetuate wealth, solve for immeasurable value, right? And yes, there is some ROI in some of this, for sure. So some of the key components that I've built in my life over the last 6 years is having an insurance agent, right? In my life, that person's name is Steve Parisi. That is my go-to guy when I want to implement life insurance policies on my life, my partner, my family, friends, clients, It's my go-to guy. Then I have a doctor to evaluate my body's reaction, how it's performing in the world. I'll have a CPA. This is the person that could be the bookkeeper, could be the tax planner, your tax coach, professional, CPA, right? Strategist. So a lot of titles in there, but overall, we're discussing taxes as it relates to the CPA. Taxes is your number one expense in life. If you're a man, it's a woman, okay? So they're like neck and neck, but more than likely, the woman's more expensive than taxes. Now, as it relates to your CPA, if we can mitigate and reduce taxes tremendously, you'll have more money to spend on the woman. And not just spend it, but be efficient with it long term, because you got to think long term. This is a life thing, right? So if we can recover a majority of your ability to produce income and keep more of that money, what's the ROI on that? That is measurable, which is great. But what becomes immeasurable are the things that you can do with this money that you weren't even accounting for, you weren't even expecting. And with proper tax planning and coaching and strategy, we're able to essentially acquire money that we did work for, but we kept more of the same dollar. Insane, right? So that for me is a company called Better Wealth. Caleb is the owner of that, right? And he's someone that I look up to, and he's got a YouTube channel, very influential. And that's someone I learned from in the realm of taxes. He has got a whole tax team. He's got an insurance team. He's got coaching, right? Then you need a lawyer, okay? A lawyer is going to protect the assets that the guys over here, your offensive team, is acquiring for you, is helping you acquire. A lawyer is going to protect that, right? Therapy, counselor, right? So there could be different terms for this type of person. This is the person that you go to process the stress that you're incurring building this financial dream team. This is not easy to do. I've literally spent the last 6 years trying to build this. It's come with a lot of stress, right? You need a lot of patience. You need to be able to discuss and talk. You need to be able to go somewhere in private and air out what you're feeling. Because if you don't, it gets locked up, and then your relationship with your lawyer, your relationship with your CPA, your relationship with your lender, your relationship with your business coach, if you're not able to process your emotions, your feelings, then they may explode on people that are trying to serve you, and then they distance themselves from you because they don't want that stress. Remember, these are service providers. Unless you got the money to have that person just serve you and you alone, different story. But when most of us are starting out, you're dealing with someone that's working with many other folks. So the best thing you could do as the customer is not impose any new stresses or unwanted stress than that person can handle. Your lawyer is not going to be your therapist. Neither is your CPA, neither is your insurance agent, neither is your real estate investor, neither is your business coach. That's not what their role is. But with a therapy or a counselor that's simply outside of this whole thing, can help defend the spiritual attacks that can come and the emotional roller coasters that you'll experience of creating success and having some failures along the way, and having people come into your life for a season and then they exit, or people that you thought were there for a life but they're really for a season, and the people that were there for a season really for a whole life, and all those different things, right? So therapy, counseling, I think that's extremely important. Then you have estate planning, legacy, right? This is, again, immeasurable ROI. You'll never know what the true fruit would be of what you're doing today, right? You won't know, but the people you set it up for will be that much more better off, right? Higher chance. You're creating a defensive procedure to ensure wealth goes beyond you for multiple generations. So for this, estate planning, legacy planning, my guy is a person named Minor Ramos, who I'm working with, that's building my estate plan, trust, will, right? Getting everything squared away at a very young age, so I don't have to think about it later on, right? And I can just make tweaks along the way, right? So this is what I have so far on my defensive team. I have an insurance agent, I have a doctor, I have a CPA, I have a lawyer, I have a counselor, I have a therapy, I have estate planning, legacy planning. This defensive team helps me dominate, protect, and control my life. That's their job. Help me dominate, help me protect, help me control, so that I can earn more points. My QB coach, right, my quarterback, in this example, technically is me. I am my own financial coach. That's actually not really the best position I want to be in, okay? That's not the best decision. So let's say you're someone that is very financial savvy. You're very, very good with finances. I'm very, very good with finances. I know my numbers like no one else, okay? Talking specifically to that person, the person that is a financial coach. You are a financial consultant. You are a financial strategist. You do finance. That's your way of making a living, right? You serve people. People come to you for financial information. It's still extremely important to have someone you can go to discuss finances. To get coaching from a financial coach is extremely important. So I'm not making any excuse. I'm letting you know that's not an area I've filled yet in my life. I've been my own financial coach the last 6 years. I do receive advice and coaching in other areas, but when it comes to my own numbers, I haven't really had a person I can lock in with for years to come. Now, I do have a resource for that that you can look into, a couple of different resources where you can find a bunch of financial coaches out there, right? So if you email me directly, I can give you that, right? So for the time being, I have someone that I'm talking to that is in finance, and it's a good relationship, so that's building, but I still don't necessarily declare them my financial coach just yet. So I'm building that. So I'm just letting you know, full transparency there. So I don't have this in place because I've been that person. I've kind of, put myself, I'm the quarterback. So sometimes that might be the case. For those of you that are watching here or catching the recording, you might be that person where you're like, oh, I think I can play this role. And I'm sure you can. I still would recommend getting someone to help play that role, even if they're a substitute, right? Still recommend it. So defensive team, got your quarterback, right? Now let's talk about offense. The purpose of your offense team, your offensive team, is to help you be more fruitful and multiply the fruit. So how do we be fruitful? How do we be abundant, right? By seeking wisdom. Wisdom leads to having a successful mindset, which leads to abundance, right? When you're thinking beyond yourself outwardly, you started internal and you went external and you found big thinkers, right? People that will help you take proper risk in life, okay? They're gonna help you be fruitful. They're gonna help you multiply the wealth. I think definitely start with a mentor, right? That mentor could be a real estate investor, could be a business entrepreneur in a certain sector, a certain industry that you yourself are learning in, right? That could be that mentor. This mentor is someone that has lived life, A mentor is not going to be someone that's 2 years ahead of you. A mentor is someone that's at least a decade or more ahead of you, in my opinion. They've got a decade plus of experience on top of you. They have lived a lot, right? So that's who I would qualify as a mentor. Very, very knowledgeable, right? Ton of experience in the area you're trying to succeed in, right? So then you've got the real estate investor. That's someone that, again, I think a critical component of financial success is having real estate, right? Here's where I inject my faith again for just a second. When I look at how my Father in heaven operates, how he created the world, right? He took a period of time to create everything. And then once he created me, or I should say the first man, once he created Adam, right? Put him in what's called a garden. Well, garden, in other words, is real estate. So the first thing God gave man was land, real estate, right? And then gave him the power to manage and steward and have abundance in that, over that domain, that territory. So I think having real estate is an important component. Just, take away the spiritual. Again, if you don't believe in that part, that's cool. Logically speaking, this is critical. You need somewhere to live, right? Number one. And if you are to expand yourself by having more family members and you want to take care of more people, well, those people need a place to live. And if you want to have a business, right? Some businesses maybe are online. That's technically a form of real estate, digital real estate. But if you need a brick and mortar, you need more land. If you're going to build a kingdom, a domain, trust me, you're going to need some land. Ideally, you should control, own, operate that land so that you have full authority over that land. So real estate investor, mentor, business coach. I think a business coach is great because it can help you formulate the ideas you are bringing to the table with your skills, gifts, and talents, and that could become a business which produces cash flow, revenue, profits, which the business that you decide to build in your life is going to feed all of this, basically. When you're coming into this scenario here, many of you have jobs. So the only thing that's feeding all of this is your job. But your job will not be able to sustain all of this. The only way you can sustain a financial dream team for life and even beyond life is not going to be through your job. It is going to be through a business. So this right here feeds all of this. All of this. Feeds it, sustains it, perpetuates it, multiplies it. Right? Insane. Very, very critical component here on the offensive team. This is the person that the quarterback throws the ball to. Right? As for the real estate investor, they can throw the ball to him as well, or her. But most of the time, in my opinion, the business coach and the financial coach and you, the person operating, the three of you together, or maybe it's combined, maybe it's two, you're the one that's like, you're running, you're gunning, you're hustling, you're bustling, you're doing all the work, right? All the things. Now that's the world. Let me inject my faith again real quick. All right. So when you have God, you put him right here, let's say. I still think there needs to be a human, okay? All right, this isn't a, how should I say this effectively for the believers? I think there's a lot of Christians that claim that God's leading their whole life, right? This is the claim that they make. It's not a bad claim. I think it's important. If you're a believer, yes, God should lead your whole life. But when you go to the grocery store, that doesn't seem to be the case. When you go to the restaurant, that doesn't seem to be the case. When you go to make an investment in crypto or stock market or real estate, that doesn't seem to be the case. He seems to get put out here. And then we go to him to pray. Oh my God, I hope that works. God, please make it work. Please make it work. And it's like, I see that all too often, way too often. And I work with a lot of believers and I see it way too often. So I think a very effective way to inject God into be the quarterback of your whole entire dream team here is to have another person of faith that is very knowledgeable in the word, more than you, preferably more than you, that you can bounce these ideas off of, and you can come to the conversation with orders from headquarters, process it with another person of faith in alignment with you to go succeed God's will for your life, right? So that's just me kind of injecting the faith component. If that wasn't a piece, you can put that off to the side. You are your own God in that example, right? Your ideas, you are the head, you are the king, and then you're having a financial coach, someone that has plenty of experience that can work and serve you, right, to the highest level. So we got business coach, real estate investor, mentor, financial advisor. The financial advisor, I think, is very helpful when you start making a lot of money. Like when you got money you don't know what to do with, the financial advisor can continue to help those dollars produce more. You kind of get it off your plate. Let's say you get to a point where you're making multiple six figures, making multiple seven figures. You've got more money than you need, right? You're doing awesome. To not lose all that excess and abundance, we can start sticking those excess funds into different types of, say, retirement accounts, investment accounts, and you could simply reduce the stress by not having to operate all that money. And that's where you can pass the ball off to a financial advisor for a portion of your wealth and have them grow that for years to come. That could be a team, right? And there could be a component of you doing it yourself for a period of time. In my case, I am doing it myself as it relates to financial investment products. So your Roth IRA, your HSA, your self-directed accounts, your retirement accounts, anything that accumulates money without you necessarily doing the work. You're investing in a company, you're investing in a commodity, you're investing in a stock, a share, whatever it is. That doesn't require your time, effort. You're just simply depositing money there. You're getting a tax deduction for it. You're getting some incentive long-term and the short-term, whatever it is. And that money grows. Now, it can get so big to the point where you might need another set of eyes on that. And I think that's where a financial advisor would come into place. Now, they have different names as well. Financial advisor, financial planner maybe, a fiduciary is one. You've got the wealth manager, right? There's different terms that they give themselves, okay? But these are the people so far that I've also been working on building. I've got a real estate person, I have a mentor, I have a business coach, I don't have a financial advisor. I'm kind of technically playing that role right now for myself, right? And then bonus here, totally optional, having a lender, debt capital, access to debt, access to capital at any point in time. So, and again, optional, this is where velocity banking comes into play. Having good credit, having a great credit score gets you access to more capital via credit cards, PLOCs, HELOCs, you name it. And then having a lender, someone with a lot of money. Let's say you have a great idea, you don't have the capital, you can go to a lender. Lender gives you money to go produce that idea. It's a win for him or her because they're getting a rate of return on their money. It's a win for you because you've been fully capitalized. Now you're going to go and make that money. You have the idea, you have the process, you have the team in place to go do it. pay the person back, that's done, no obligation, you're on your way, right? Or bootstrap, do it yourself the first time before you go get money, right? So that's a option, right? Totally optional. I think requirement, need a defensive team. I think you need a great defensive team. And then when it comes to offense, I think also as it relates to just money in general, when it comes to creating wealth, before you invest, think of your offensive team as the team you invest money with to go multiply it. Before you invest, most people watching, most people starting out, most people restarting, most people learning, you really should not try to invest first. You should try to save first. And when I say save, I don't necessarily mean save your money under your mattress or in a savings account. I don't necessarily mean that, although that could be a temporary position, point of time. When I say save, I'm more so talking how do we dominate, protect, and control. So I could save money in a high cash value life insurance policy, which solves for protecting my human life value, controlling the future in a sense. And I have a sense of dominance and confidence because if anything happens to me, my family's okay. So I saved money by acquiring a service, adding to my dream team an agent that I can trust, right? And then those savings have been spent on an asset that will grow, compound, tax-free, right? That's where IBC comes into play here in that example as it relates to this channel, what I teach here. I could save money by finding the right doctor. Instead of getting prescribed drugs to handle my problems, I could go to the right kind of doctor, a functional doctor, and give me real solutions, right? I can save money by hiring a CPA to help me understand what's coming in, what's coming out, and how to, retain more of what I'm already making. I can save money by protecting myself, assets that I create, in case I ever get sued, I don't lose it all because I had proper counseling. I could save money by going to a therapist to discuss my problems so that when these problems show up in financial bad habits that I have, if I can get rid of them early, then I'm not going to have that bad financial habit which cost me $500 to $1,000 a month. Oh, I can save money by having proper estate planning. That's what I mean by saving. Most people save money incorrectly. So I think starting there, again, build your defensive team first, leveraging your quarterback to build a strong defense. Even if you have a bad offensive team, they're going to look amazing because you have great defense. All right, so what that would mean is like having a low ROI rate of return on a particular investment. That may not necessarily be a bad thing, right? So, recap. Know your numbers, step 1. Step 2, seek wisdom. Get your financial coach. That's your quarterback. They're going to impart knowledge and wisdom onto you based on your situation. Very healthy relationship there. Going to help you develop your mindset so that you can build this dream team successfully. We're then going to work our way into building a strong defensive team, their role, their purpose to help you dominate, protect, control your life. Simultaneously, we're going to be building our offensive team. Our offensive team helps us become more fruitful, helps us multiply. Technically, because the quarterback is on offense, your quarterback is helping you be fruitful and multiply right here in step 1 and step 2 before you even invest money. So the investment is you first. You can create so much multiplication. So many people have jobs that are listening right now. Comment if you have a job, career that you've been working at, right? For however many years, comment, okay? So many people I work with that have jobs or careers are trying to make a high ROI outside of their skills, gifts, and talents, and they're putting themselves in high risk situations. An online business, an online store, the crypto, the Forex, the trading, that has nothing to do with their skills, gifts, and talents. And I talk to them, I'm like, hey, you're really good at this construction thing. You're really good at this hospitality thing. You're really good in this service field. Why are you exerting so much energy over here that has nothing to do with you? Did you know that if you were to simply start talking to the movers and shakers of your industry, you possibly could land a six-figure paying job? Like that, go from 70K a year to 150,000, go from 70K a year to 100,000. I mean, really look at the ROI on that. If you're making 70 grand and you take a portion of your money to go risk it over here to earn a high rate of return versus retain the cash flow, keep it here, improve your skills more in construction that you're working in, that could get you from making 70K a year to $90,000 a year. What's the gain on that? Someone put it in the comments. What's the gain from 70,000 and in 1 year, 12 months, you're now earning 90,000 a year? And that's 90,000 moving forward year after year after year after year after year. Versus taking a portion of your 70 to earn 15%. Take your 70, turn into 90. Take your 90, turn into 110. Like, go the route. Build your skills. And then guess what happens? You build your skills, gifts, and talents high enough, and then you're like, maybe I can go do this myself. Boom. Start the business. Making more money. Servicing more people. And then, again, that revenue starts to feed all of this over time. Bum, 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 bum. So, what I would like to do now, a little bit of Q&A. That was exactly an hour, right? I'm really excited because I just finished my entire lesson in under an hour. Usually I go much longer than that because I talk a lot. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to put my email in the chat, right? Anthony said 112%. It's amazing. Whereas so many of us are trying to fight for like 15%, 20%. And I'm like, you do know that you can get 100% rate of return from your own job or career if you were to just hone in on your skills and talents, right? So let me just put my email here for everyone. Okay, boom. Reach out to me, and I'm going to send you this Word doc that I'm going to share if you want it. This is my financial success team that I've built over the years and had to build a phenomenal relationship with, right? Right here. It's whole life insurance. That's insurance agent, Steve Parisi. He's got a whole team. Lifetime income planning. That's technically like an advisor that helps me build all these other types of income streams over time as I get older. That's Daniel Romberg for me. Wills and trust estate planning, legacy planning. That's Minor Ramos for me. Tax planning, strategy, bookkeeping, coaching, and financial coaching. It's going to be Better Wealth, right? Caleb and his team. Business coach, Alex Albaran. Real estate investing, the Kwok brothers, Sam and Daniel Kwok. So we got 7 people total on here. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people on this team. It's not complete yet, right? I'm building this out. But I've spent years fortifying these relationships, okay? And that's what's, I believe, truly helped me build a ton of success in such a short period of time, is leveraging other people's skills, gifts, and talents to help me become more fruitful and multiply in my own skills, gifts, and talents effectively, right? So if you like that, I'll send that to you, and then their names are highlighted, so you just click, and it goes right to their either their website or their channel or their service, and it'll go right to, you can book a call with them, and you just start building a relationship. If it doesn't make sense, that's cool. This is for you. This is my financial team. I'm simply sharing what I've spent the last 6 years, and that can help you save, oh my goodness, a ton of time, right? And then I myself, financial coach, consultant, strategist, I could be your quarterback to help you build your financial dream team. And that's what I've been doing the last 5-6 years with this YouTube channel, servicing all my clients. Those of you who are in the chat that are clients, I think you can attest to this, right? That I don't think I've ever really persuaded or influenced my ideas or thoughts. It's simply been there's these educational tools, resources, this content that I put on the channel, and then you make a conscious decision saying, you know what, I'm going to talk to this guy about that thing. We talk about it. I evaluate your situation. You tell me your problems, and I say, here are the different scenarios based on if you go right, if you go left, you go straight, you go back, here's what we can expect, right? And then we decide, okay, I want to work with you long-term, Denzel. I'm like, sure, I want to work with you long-term. Let's go make it happen. Boom. And we have fun, right? So that's your action step. You email me directly, and I will send you that breakdown. Super simple, easy. All the links right there. And we'll have some fun. Now let me scroll back up to the top. Look at the comments. If you guys have questions, thoughts, concerns, let me know. So she says, good morning. Hello to Trusted Covenant. This is Minor Ramos, someone on my dream team. Andre says, challenge finding a good barber. Yes, my example earlier. Good word, brother. Awesome. Rod, sounds great. Makes complete sense. You're teaching a great mindset. Thank you, Anthony. Legacy building. Awesome. Yep. Cool. This is interesting. I never thought about this. Thank you for this. Yes, great. Julian, very glad to have met you. An excellent chess partner to have in this game of life. Yes, guys, remember, great example. We are playing chess, not checkers, when it comes to building your financial dream team. We've got to really take the time, and hopefully I gave you a good template. Know your numbers first. Seek wisdom. Once you receive wisdom, it builds your mindset further. Once you have a clear mindset, your mind is set on building a successful financial dream team, you will attract successful people in your life. It's that simple. Universal fact. That's a truth, right? Then your first person you recruit on your team is a financial coach, in my opinion, in this template. That's your quarterback. From there, we're building a defensive team first. If you've never made money in your life, right? We're starting from scratch, so to speak. You're in debt, don't have a whole lot of assets, cash flow, right? We're kind of reworking. We want to start with a clean slate. I'd say build your defensive team. Some of you listening might already have a coach, might already have an insurance agent. You got a business, a CPA, and now it's just plug and play. You're just missing a couple things, right? Some of you might have a great offensive team, but a super weak defensive team. Meaning when you make money, you make a lot of it. But then you don't have defensive measures in place to protect the money, so then it just flies out of your account. And you're wondering like, oh my God, dude, I make $1 million and I spend 800 grand a year and I net 2 and I don't even know where the 2 goes, right? It's like, yeah, man, like we need to improve our defense. You're scoring a ton of points, but the other team is scoring a ton of points on you because you have a weak defense. If all we did was just improve your defense, you win by default because you already know how to make money. We just got to know how to keep it. So that might be your problem. Someone else might say, I got a great defensive team, but you have a very, very scarcity mindset, so you're afraid to invest anything at all. So you're only earning 2, 3, 4% on your money. You have a great defensive team. You have all this protection, but what are you protecting? You're not protecting much. You don't have too much wealth to build. So you kind of have to okay, great. We don't need to put any more money into the defensive team. We need to put a little more money in investment, take a little more risk, get a higher rate of return, focus on the skills, gifts, and talents that you have. Put this business that you find that you've been thinking about all these years, that you've been struggling to write that book, you've been struggling to create that YouTube channel, and you know you're deploying your money into other people's hands, thinking you're doing offense. You got a good defense. You're thinking you're playing offense, right? By giving your money to other people, and you're getting these, mediocre rate of returns, let's just say. It's not producing what we need for the defensive team to be able to like protect even more. So that could be your problem. So either you have a bad defense, you have a great okay offense, you have a really good offense but a really weak defense. Maybe you got a good defense, a good offense, but no leader. Maybe you're missing a good leader that can bring all these people together. Maybe I could be that person, right? That can have these relationships or help guide or help pivot. Say, yeah, I don't think that's the right season right now, right? But let me not make my opinion. Let's process it. Let's run the numbers and make it happen, right? So like everybody in here needs help on their building their financial dream team to some extent, even me. And it's an ongoing thing, right? You're going to have down years, you're going to have up years, you're going to have mediocre years, you're going to have stagnant years. We want to have more wins and losses, obviously. And at the end of the day, what is the end game? Build your kingdom, right? Build your domain, have territory of it. If you want to go one step higher, relinquish all authority while maintaining authority and confidence, but you relinquish it in a sense where you're saying, none of this is mine, this is all my Father's in heaven, and I'm simply managing and stewarding until he arrives back. Simple as that, right? Let me look at some other comments here. Definitely need to know how to get business capital. My personal credit is awesome, need to get business credit. Great, I got a guy for that. Okay, just reach out. You have put 20 to 30 years of wisdom in this impressive template. Stay in your kingdom authority, impact others. Thank you very much. 112%. That was from earlier. Rod says career. Yep. Love this. Awesome. Hey, Anthony Rushing. How are you, my friend? How can I link with you and set up whole life policy? So I put my email. So you can just say, hey, Denzel, I need this specific thing on my dream team. Right? So you can just title the subject Financial Dream Team. And you say, look, I'm looking specifically for whole life right now. And then I'll make that connection. Not only would I make the connection, but we can also have a separate conversation either about that person, that agent, how they're operating, processing it, right? Evaluating what they designed for you. Does it make sense? So you can have a second opinion. I have no incentive. Let's say you work with someone that I'm not even partnered with. I just want to see you win. And I can say, hey, based on your numbers, I don't think it makes sense to start this right now. I think you'd be better off focusing more of your cash flow and time, building your skills up. Let's get your income a little bit higher so that we can save the proper amount into this. And maybe in the meantime, instead of doing whole life, maybe we just start with a simple term policy just to protect your human life value. Oh my goodness, right? Something simple as that, conversation, didn't cost you that much, right? Really helped. By the way, thanks for the book, Own Your Home a Year Sooner. Yep. Awesome. Just compliments what most of us learn from you. I agree. Hi, Denzel. One suggestion is to add physical fitness into your daily routine. Consider hiring a personal trainer for motivation if it's within your budget. This can help improve your mindset. Yes. So that is, I think, ideally something that I missed here. I don't have a personal trainer, right? I don't have that. So that's a piece that I'm missing that I could get. Glad to join you live. Loving the content. Starting Velocity Banking in the UK. Awesome. Cool. All right. That's all the questions. Got 40 people in the house. Thank you for tuning in, right? Again, action step. Email me directly. put in the subject line, Financial Dream Team, put exactly what it is that you're looking for from this particular video. Like, hey, this spoke to me, or this, I want to start here. Denzel, I need a quarterback. Denzel, I need a strong defensive team. I need to work on my offense, right? And we can build from here. I'll send you my dream team because you're like, you know what, Denzel? I don't really know anyone. You look like you spent the last 6 years formulating these relationships. Maybe I can pull 2 people from your team, 3 people from your team, right? So I'll send you that document directly. Those of you that want to work with me one-to-one, I am a coach, am a consultant, am a strategist, work with you on your velocity banking, your infinite banking, the combination of both, just your numbers, just debt elimination, whatever it is. I could be your quarterback on your own personal finances or business. And then that can lead us to building a strong financial dream team for success to build your kingdom. All right. So with that being said, God bless you all. Thank you for your time. I don't see any other questions. I waited another second here. Let's see. What was the link again? So just email me directly, right? And I'm going to send you that Word doc, and it has all the links of the team players that I've built here over the years. So you'll just click on their name, right? It'll tell you what they do, how they can serve you, boom, boom, boom. And then you reach out to me directly, say, hey, Denzel, I spoke to Steve, I spoke to Alex, I spoke to the Quacks, I spoke to Caleb and his team. And then we could have a simple one-to-one conversation, a consulting session, right? Where we discuss those things and we just make sure that we're doing proper sequencing. Does that make sense? Awesome. So I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you for your time. Okay, thank you. Wonderful, wonderful. All right, cool. God bless you all. Talk soon. Have a wonderful day. And let me share with you one more thing. I'm going to do a financial boot camp, totally free, live on the YouTube channel, 3 days in a row, June 18th, 19th, June 17th, 18th, and the 19th, 10 a.m. Eastern Time, all 3 of those days. We're going to be discussing some things. We're breaking this out, part of the financial dream team, right? Different components. I may have some other speakers come in and talk, discuss these different ideas. But this financial boot camp, the purpose of it is really to just pour as much value as I can into my loyal subscribers, loyal followers that are not clients yet. Okay, so if you're a client of mine and you just want to attend the financial boot camp, get a refresher, great. But just know that you have access to me one-to-one, right? So anything that I discuss, you've either already have heard it, if it's going to be a refresher, we can discuss that one-to-one together. But those of you that are just been following the YouTube channel, you've been getting a lot of value from it, or you're new, right? You're building trust with me by watching the content, seeing if it's actually worth your time, and you're getting results and you're tracking, right? This boot camp is going to be more geared toward you, right? Not necessarily geared toward my clients. It's going to be more geared toward you, those who have been following me. You're brand new, never done any business before. And I just want to pour like an extreme amount of value on you over that 3-day period. And that's an opportunity where you get to ask me questions directly, completely free. It doesn't cost you. It's just your time, discipline. You want to come prepared, right? So I'll leave you with that. Have a wonderful day. God bless everyone. Thank you.